We're enjoying the pristine Pacific paradise of Palau. So much to see. We've already filled one program, back for a second program in this episode of Travel Oz. G'day, welcome. I'm Grainger.
Palau. Pristine Palau. It's an unspoiled paradise, surrounded by dazzling azure waters. The lights below the waves and above. And wonderful characters.
Sweet lady of Waihole.
Governments of Australia and Palau have formed a collaborative partnership, which includes support for a direct flight connecting Brisbane and Palau in a short 6-hour trip. This Palau Paradise Express, operated by Nauru Airlines, is a new partnership between the Australian and Palau governments to encourage economic growth through increased tourism and two-way trade opportunities. The President of Palau, President Whips, is delighted.
And so we're really grateful to the Australian government for really underwriting this program through the flights program to allow this opportunity to connect Australia and Palau and the people of Palau and Australia to learn more about each other and bring us closer together. I mean, that's the beauty of this flight.
It's also the people of Palau who are ever so welcoming.
The pristine paradise Palau.
Theirs is a republic consisting of some 500 islands, a Micronesian nation of 18,000 people located just above Papua New Guinea and to the east of the Philippines. Seafood is ever so plentiful. I've loved feasting on freshly caught mangrove crabs. And there's an opportunity to learn more about their culture, which is deeply followed. Ahead in this episode, we'll learn more about pristine Palau. We'll take a scenic flight to marvel at the myriad of islands and seemingly endless azure waters. We'll visit an island that saw one of the fiercest battles of the Second World War. We'll go diving to experience an ocean teeming with life. And we'll check out the great accommodation on offer. Pristine Palau. Get ready to be spoiled. Undoubtedly the best way to get a bird's eye view of Palau is to take to a light plane. Over on the main terminal there's a much bigger bird, a Nauru Airlines 737. The same plane that flew us up from Australia in just 6 hours a few days ago.
Well, we're about to go flying. We've got superb weather today. We're setting off on this Cessna 182. Bit of vintage here. Now, Hiramichi is flying us today, been here 7 months, and he's going to take us skybound.
We're taking off on the same main runway the big jets use, ascending quickly to an altitude of 1,300 feet. Below us, the main town of Koror, its buildings ever so close to the water. Look at that sandy beach. That's the Palau Pacific Resort. To the left down there, some overwater bungalows. We'll check out Palau's range of accommodation later. And then nature's bounty, seemingly endless formations of coral reefs, creating dazzling patterns. Now that channel down there, that's the German Channel, where we followed a graceful manta ray just the day before. So many islands, large and small, almost all uninhabited. In all, some 500 islands make up Palau. With the biggest group, these ones, they're Palau's famed 70 islands, part of the Rock Island group, at home to nesting turtles. To protect them, visitors are barred. This is as close as we'll get. But we can get much closer to other marine life, and that's what we're about to do. Go diving in what many divers say is the best diving in the world. We're going to check out for ourselves what's been described as the best diving in the world. Our dive master is Neil Nixon.
Neil, you're from Long Island, New York. How on earth did you find yourself here in Palau?
I heard that Palau was one of the most beautiful places to dive.
Yeah.
And so I decided to take the chance and come to Palau to see what it has to offer.
And?
Absolutely beautiful. Touches the heart, changes your soul, in touch with Mother Nature and yourself.
Also travelling with us today is Jennifer Silchenkamp. She's the operations manager for the dive company we've chosen to dive with. And encountering marine creatures is her speciality.
So we're out on one of your boats and look at this. Dolphins. These are spinner dolphins?
That was spinner dolphins, yeah. We thought it was a nice thing going back to Kuroa and then call them shortly. Yeah, having the last good shot.
You call them in?
Yeah, sure.
You call the dolphins in?
Of course.
How do you do that?
It's a secret. We can't share it with everyone, sorry.
Have you got a call? And again. And again.
Neil Nixon, meanwhile, is ready to take us down under.
Neil, where are we?
We're at Oolong Channel.
Oolong Channel. And what are we going to see?
You're going to see fish.
So a lot of fish life, a lot of good coral life.
Beautiful coral. Some of the nicest coral in Palau.
Let's check it out and see whether that's right.
You have beautiful coral beds, and then along the walls, you've got gorgeous soft corals.
And the fish life around these coral beds, just prolific.
Yes, teeming with life.
This turtle does not seem perturbed by me at all. It swims up to me.
They're comfortable divers, yeah? They're used to seeing us every day. They know that we're not a threat to them.
It is indeed a hawksbill turtle. They're an endangered species.
And then there's a trench. I like this trench. Get down into the trench, swim along the trench, and finally back ourselves into a little bit of a wall there and watch the passing parade of fish.
Yes, the endless parade. You got to see yourselves gray reef sharks out in the blue.
So, reef sharks.
Yes.
These reef sharks, again, are they habituated? They certainly don't seem perturbed or put off by us.
Not bothered at all. Again, like the turtle, they're used to seeing divers every day. So they're comfortable with us being in the water. As long as we're not chasing or harassing them, they'll come as close as that turtle.
And what about this guy? Followed by this manta ray.
Telling someone out of Palau about Palau, what are you telling them about the water wonders in one word, one sentence?
Don't wait too long.
Come on over.
Come on over. That's right.
It's hard to go anywhere in Palau without encountering its pristine scenery. So that's our backdrop when I take a stroll with the Palauan president, President Whips.
What about Palau differs from any other Pacific island?
Well, we like to say in Palau that we represent the whole Pacific. You can find atolls here, you can find the rock islands, you can find the volcanic islands like Hawaii. So we have it all here in Palau. That's what we like to share.
So you've got this wonderful new opportunity with Australia, direct flights. What's that going to mean for Palau?
Well, I think it just opens up a whole new opportunity for a different set of visitors that come to Palau. And that's so important because we need to diversify our tourism base. And so we're really grateful to the Australian government for really underwriting this program through the flights program to allow this opportunity to connect Australia and Palau and the people of Palau and Australia to learn more about each other and bring us closer together. Right? That's the beauty of this flight.
So, President Whips, what is your message to Australia as a member of the Pacific family?
First of all, we share one ocean.
Yes.
We share the same air. And most importantly, we're island people. And we've been here for thousands of years, and we love our planet. And I think most importantly, we need to share in the responsibility. We need to support each other, because I truly believe that as Pacific Islanders, we have common issues, common challenges, and our strength comes with our unity. And so we're excited about this flight because it truly brings us together.
Let's say you have a top VIP like the Prime Minister of Australia come.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say they arrive, you go to meet them at the airport. What do you show them? What do you show them?
Well, when they come, of course we're well known for the ocean.
Yes.
So we have to take them out on the boat. We have to take them and visit our friendly sharks, our stingless jellyfish,
Yes.
and of course just see the amazing coral that we have. But also show them a little bit of our culture. You know, some of the things that are very unique in Palau is we have these men's meeting houses. And on these men's meeting houses, there's boards. And all those boards, there's stories and legends, and that's how we share our history.
President Whips is certainly keen to share the best of Palau. Next day, he's invited me out on a day of exercise, starting with a bout of paddling. Kayaking is such a close-up to the water activity that allows the President and me to share some very personal moments. As we paddle from island to island, the President has some very deep thoughts about what he sees as his ecological responsibilities.
You know, we believe that it's our responsibility to be good stewards and to be able to pass on to our kids something better than what we received.
Next, we take to a fishing boat. How's this for a cast and catch, Mr. President?
What have we got?
This is green snapper.
What have we got here?
This is an emperor snapper.
Nice looking fish,
Yes,
good tasting fish.
yes. If you go to the Elili where we had dinner the other night,
Yeah,
they use this to make the fish sandwich.
fantastic. Well caught.
Above water, all is pristine. But how is it down under, President Whips? Well, let me show you how, he says, and off we swim. Now, I have a large pair of fins I'm wearing, but not so the President. He's barefoot and he's still outpacing me. Time and again we dive deep. No tanks, just big lungfuls of air as we get down ever so close to those glorious coral formations. Finally, President Whips takes me to the clay beds known as the Milky Way, a place where soft white clay lines the ocean floor, allowing visitors to cake themselves with what is regarded as a highly therapeutic treatment for the skin. One last concern from the President. Climate change. Its effects are highly visible here.
And you can see all these trees. These trees are all uprooted because they were standing on the beach.
Yeah.
And they're now in the water.
Yeah. What do you anticipate is the level of rise? How far do you think it has come up?
Well, I think in my lifetime we've seen it come about 6 inches.
Right, so it's come up about that high in your life,
Yeah.
but it's more than that, it's the erosion as well.
Yeah, and then we have these big, king tides, and we've had more of them.
Yes.
Yeah, and so that's what's really driving this. That plus the extra 6 inches now is causing all of this to change.
A reminder then about the passport pledge we visitors have made as we entered Palau.
You come, you enjoy our island, but when you leave, only leave footprints in the sand.
Well, there we go. Come on, let's leave some footprints here.
Peaceful now, Palau has not always been this way. Today we're visiting the Palauan island of Peleliu, scene of one of the most deadly battles of the Second World War.
Well, it's serene now, pristine, the island of Peleliu, but not so
back in 1944. The most horrific, the most deadly battle of the American Marines here in the Pacific Ocean. The island, the Battle of Peleliu. The first big wave of Americans was right here, Orange Beach, surging ashore here. The Japanese opened fire, this end of the beach, this end of the beach, crossfire. So many Americans taken down, 1,300 in all killed on this very opening battlefield. In all, 2,000 Americans killed in this Battle of Peleliu and 11,000 Japanese. 80 years on, that battle is relived by visitors. They're able to view big collections of arms left behind by both sides and walk through a network of caves the Japanese used to hide and attack. One strategy employed by the Japanese were to build an intricate series of caves. Now, this cave housed 1,000 Japanese soldiers, kitchens and bedrooms, all their meals, all their ammunition, all their arms. They were able to leap out of here, hidden, and attack the American soldiers. One Aussie casualty of the Battle of Peleliu was that of our most famous war photographer of the time. One of the earliest casualties in this dreadful, dreadful conflict was that of the Australian cinematographer Damien Pera. Only 2 days into that battle, he was shot dead by snipers.
You never see a Jap even though he's only 20 yards away. They're complete masters of camouflage and deception.
He was following an American tank. He was filming the faces of oncoming American soldiers when he was unfortunately shot dead. Today there are people living here on Peleliu whose relatives lived here at the time of the battle.
My grandpa just tells me the stories. He was about 9 years old back during that time. Nothing much, he just remembers evacuating and then the Americans bringing them back. But he always tells us these stories. When they came back, they could barely recognize the island because they could see one end to the other end and everything was basically destroyed.
Corey Kangichi is taking me around Peleliu today, showing me tanks that had been abandoned by the Japanese and the remains of a Japanese plane. Tell us about these Japanese Zeros.
So this is a Japanese Zero plane. These were manufactured by Mitsubishi as well. These planes are infamously used by the Japanese at the time, doing those kamikazes, those suicide bombing missions on the US naval ships. This specific plane was destroyed on the runway, and when the Americans were clearing the runway for their use, they just kind of pushed it to the side. And yeah, it's been here ever since.
Entire buildings remain. Emerging from the thick jungle, the command centre, the airfield command centre for the Japanese.
Yes, sir. So this is the Japanese headquarters, the airfield headquarters building. Yeah. This was mostly for the Japanese Air Force. Also, they had their classified documents. All their important paperwork were stored in this building as well.
So when the Americans finally bombed this heavily, defeated the Japanese, they actually moved in here. This became the American airfield centre.
So after the Marines took over this building, took over this part of the island, the first Marines took this building and turned it into their own headquarters.
This was the command centre. These days, the American flag still flies in memory of the war dead. While stories emerged well after the war ended of Japanese soldiers who refused to believe it was all over. So this brutal battle finally comes to an end. Then, 2.5 years later, we're talking about April 1947, 34 Japanese soldiers emerged from a cave out into the open, out into freedom, not realising the war has indeed finished. And they were stealing their food on the full moon. Full moon, the light of the full moon, they would go to an American warehouse here and steal some food to survive. Great story of survival. After inspecting the battlefields, it's time to get acquainted with the new Peleliu. I'm meeting a man who has a lively view of Peleliu today, the Governor, Governor Roberts. I understand, sir, you're a surgeon?
Right.
Trained in the USA, California and Hawaii,
Yeah, right.
and now you are practicing tomorrow.
Right. Yeah.
How do you reconcile being both a governor and a surgeon at the same time?
It's fun. It's fun to do a little bit of everything, Right now I consider myself a full-time fisherman and a part-time governor and even less part-time surgeon, but I do it all. I have an office, but This is basically my full-time office out here with the boys and everybody doing little things, and including hosting you guys, plus show you guys a little bit of what we have.
What the Governor and his colleagues do have in abundance is fresh seafood. Now look at that spread, starting with that whopping big plate of freshly caught crabs. Yummy! Let's get into it, says Governor Roberts.
All right, here we go. First bite.
And that thing was arrived a few hours ago.
Peleliu, wartime memories, seafood feasts. Places to stay here on Palau, let's introduce you to a few of them. Starting with the Palau Pacific Resort. A golden private beach and 160 unique guest rooms, suites and overwater bungalows. This is a world-class resort, built to respect the natural surroundings with no room higher than a coconut tree. Such a relaxing atmosphere with views of lush tropical gardens and the ocean. Then there's the Palau Central Hotel. Style here, with a vintage Chevy adorning the driveway. And a karaoke bar that proves very popular with both locals and visitors. The pool and decking are a big hit, as is the location, close to the capital city of Koror's shops. And then there's the mountaintop Carolines Resort. This relaxing retreat was established in 1995 with sweeping views of the ocean. The bungalows are all timber with lush jungle surrounding them. Their latest addition, the 2 luxury glamping tents featuring huge beds and luxurious amenities. All followed by another glorious overwater sunset that signals the end of our Palau adventure. Palau, the pristine Pacific paradise that offers so much.